Have mercy upon me, O Yah, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest.
We should be dead, yeah. All of the stuff that we did. Wondering how you forgive. Swimming in all of these sins. Have mercy on your kids. We ain't really know why we should leave. We was told to total opposite. The water all banana we can see. Thank you for waking us up at the end. They ain't love, I don't know what it is. Could've kept us dwelling in our sin. Ain't gonna watch how we could repent. Coming back to the old covenant. Never know when he coming again. When he coming to spin. Everybody that caught in sin. Fire to taste and I hope that you win. Let it go, let it blow right with the wind. You gotta endure the pain right to the end. Repairing again. The water arbor just was showing your favor. No, I trial tribulations and labor. Everybody waiting right on the savior. Everybody waiting right on the savior. When he gon' come with a sword. Everybody gon' be caught in the law. He right there, nigga killing galore. He right there spilling blood on the floor. He gon' be mad cause he died for you. On that tree gave his life for you. Really took every strike for you. Keep commandments, that's what I would do. Oh yeah. We should be dead, yeah. All of the stuff that we did. Wondering how you forgive. Swimming in all of these sins. Have mercy on your kids. We ain't really know why we should leave. We was told the total opposite. The water all banana we can see. Thank you for waking us up at the end. If they ain't love, I don't know what it is. Could've kept us dwelling in our sin. They gon' march you out, we could repent. Coming back to the old covenant. Never know when he coming again. When he coming to spin. Everybody that caught in sin. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Start today with GoDaddy. If you can dream it, you can build it. Whatever your idea, GoDaddy can help you turn it into something real.
We get closer to the end. We getting closer to the second coming. The blood of the king, 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 blood of the king. Oh. Wish I could've walked with him, wish I could've talked with him. They did him awful, but it was lawful. Curse is the man that ain't give on a tree. He was made a curse for you and me. The blood of the king, blood of the king, the blood of the king, blood of the king, the blood of the king, blood of the king, the blood of the king, blood of the king, the blood of the king. Get your life together, Hamashiach coming back, y'all. Detaching from the things of the world, ain't looking back, y'all. The sinners of his bloodline, the reason they attack, y'all. Come back to the covenant, the truth, and that's a fact, y'all. They put them thorns up on his head, gave him a roll. Cause he our high priest, they ain't even know. They wrote the king of the Jews on his stone. Give all praise to the ancient of old. He coming back, how you can't see the prophecies. And every man will get rewarded for their deeds. He gave his life, he gave his blood for you and me. So bow down to your king. Messiah coming back with healing in his wings. He went to hell, he still prevailed, he took the keys. We don't deserve to be alive, so it's your need. Bow down to the blood of the king. 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 Blood of the king, 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 blood of the king.
I'm blown away by this plugin.
This is hands down the best gate/debleeding plugin.
Jerusalem, 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 Jerusalem. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, city of David, Mount Zion. That's the place that the Father put his name on. Them the people that these nations got their aim on. We found out where we from, that was game on. Jerusalem, we did you so wrong. We broke the laws, he left us alone. We waking up, we wanna come home. We follow Christ, ain't casting no stone. Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. I put my name on Jerusalem. 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 I gave my law to 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 Jerusalem. I won't forsake you, 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 Jerusalem. Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem. They could build that wall, we going back home. No vaccine, we going back home. Ain't taking mark of the beast, we going back home. They gon' find out the Father ain't strong. Zion, Zion, come on. Zion, Zion, come on. Zion, Zion, come on. Zion, Zion, come on. Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our own. I pray pray this reach the throne. I put my name on Jerusalem. 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 I gave my law to 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 Jerusalem. I won't forsake you, 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 no. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our wrong. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our wrong. I pray this reach the throne. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah. We wanna go back home, go back where we belong. Forgive us for our
Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Shalom, family. Shalom. Jessica is detained at the moment, and um, it's been so long since I've done a live that I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Um, so, family, while we're here today because Jessica, I had Jessica here on the show, like same show. Um, Probably almost 2 years ago. We talked about the thing with Mark Meets Africa, and just kind of exposing some untruths. And it was really the first time that I met Jessica back then. Well, I guess I take that back. I met her a little bit before then, and our bond just kind of grew a little stronger over the next 2.5 years or so. And I've watched her kids growing up. I'm watching, how she's raising her children. And when I found out that, you know, she was arrested, I was stupefied. There's no other way to describe that. Um, she um, I actually kind of found out about it in another person's live. I think it's Taste of Vegan. I think the first thing that I saw with her before the actual news kind of came out, because I believe that she's really a private person. Um, and rightfully so. She's a single mom with now 6 children. And, I think when we have children, we move a lot differently than we do without them, right? Our steps are really ordered before anything, because it is, as a mother, we move in the best interest of our children always, right? And that's a good mother. Now we know there's all kinds of moms out there, right? Um, but despite our flaws as single moms, and I can only speak, well, I guess I could, as a single mom, because I have been one. I've been a married mom, and I've been a single married mom, and a single mom, right? We have to move for the best interests of our children. And it's not to say that we always make the right decisions, because God knows we don't. You know, um, they tell us now that there is a rule book for raising children, but you know, I haven't seen how it applies, because as a mother, as a parent, you have to make decisions off the seat of your pants every day, not once, not twice, but 50, 60 times a day. You are making split second decisions, whether it's, are we going to the park or not? Should I tell them no, even though I really want to give it to them, but is it good for them to have or to do? To punish them, to not punish them, to read to them, not to read to them, how to educate them, when to educate them. And these are just the little things. These are not the random things that they come at you with all the time. And now compound that times 6, right? If you don't know Jessica, Jessica is the tiniest little thing you could ever see. And at the look of her, right? I was just talking to somebody about this today. She got some snapback that is unreal. How many of us? I only had 2 kids. I didn't have too many stretch marks. No, but I never really got rid of that baby weight, right? Um, she just she's incredible in that fact, right? Some people are made for children, and by the look of her, you would never suspect that she even has 1 child, let alone 6 of them. And the US government has taken all 6 of her children. And I hope that tonight I will be able to tell you that story, that that Jess will be able to tell you that story. But I talked to her tonight, and she's nervous. She's heartbroken. She doesn't know whether she's coming or she's going. And I don't blame her. We have to stay strong when it comes to our children, when they're with us, and especially when they're not. Because when they're not with us, we lose our purpose. We don't know what we're supposed to do without them. Even if it's just a night. I remember when my son was 8 months old. My grandmother wanted to give me a break. I was a 18-year-old single mom, and she was going to New York. And although I never expressed to anybody I needed a break, I didn't even think I realized I needed a break. She took my son to New York. She drove to New York with her and Papa John. And back then there was this song that played on the radio all the time, and it had this crying baby in the background. Everybody was playing this. It was like not even crying. It was this giggly sound. And I swore it was my child. And he had only been gone at this point, maybe 8 hours. And I imagined him in the house all the time. Can you imagine that FBI agents took your newborn, the one that you are still feeding from your breast, not a bottle, because you think that it's best for your children to be fed by the things that God has given you to feed them. right? Not one child, but all six of them. You know, when I first met Jess, her her youngest one at the time, I don't know if he was 2 or 3, but he was still breastfeeding. And I wondered to myself, if you haven't seen Jess, again, she is tiny. I wouldn't have believed breastfeeding was even an option. But here this child is, big and fat, walking around. I mean, I won't even say fat, I would say strong as an ox, right? Um, the things that we do for our children are insurmountable. And I rebuke anybody that comes between a good mother and her children. There is no reason for it's no reason for it at all. I realize that CPS, DCF, wherever you're from, it's called something different. I believe they serve a great purpose if they were being used in the right way. But me personally, I was a private contractor for the company, because that's what it is. It's a company. And I've seen the wickedness that goes on in these places. I've seen case managers lie. I've heard them lie in courtrooms where they swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help them God. I couldn't do it anymore. And then I went back to the the agency in a different capacity for money. When somebody offered me $50 an hour, I went, but I refuse now. I should have never went back. So y'all, Jess needs prayer, okay? Not just prayer, but she needs finances. When Jess was here, her finances weren't all that, right? And I hope we get to find out tonight why she went back, right? Is it financial issues? Is it a combination of things? You know, there are going to be some things that Jess is not going to be able to talk about tonight because um, she is in the legal battle of her life, the legal battle of her children's lives. And she is being attacked on all fronts. And she needs friends. She needs financial donors. She needs the grace of God. She needs a miracle. Because we know that although this system, if it was being applied correctly, would help so many people all over this world. But the fact is it's not. And there's some children that never make it back home, whether it's because the parents don't do their part, or the court system overplays their hand, or some of these children die in custody. And that's just a plain fact. So she needs your prayer to protect her children above all things, is to protect them no matter what happens in the months, the weeks, and the days to come. Is to protect them from all hurt, harm, and danger. Because regardless of what you think about Jessica being adults and she's grown and she can handle everything herself, those kids can't. The amazing thing about Jessica is that I remember telling her, or in the kids' presence, that I thought that she was giving her oldest girls way too much responsibility. And I would like to say to everybody, I was wrong, right? Because see, God prepares us for what we need and what we're going to have to use in life. And now these babies and these teenage girls are in a place where their mother doesn't want them to be. She didn't want them to be. And I hope we get a chance from her mouth to tell you why. These girls can cook. They can cook meals from scratch. They can teach their brothers and their sisters, and they can keep them quiet. They can keep them safe. And aren't these all the things as a mother that we want our children to be able to do before they have to go out into this world? We want them to be able to speak up for themselves, so if someone hurts them, they can say it. But now they want to keep the kids quiet, and they want to keep the kids away from her. They don't even want her to speak to her children. Can you imagine somebody that you gave birth to? Not one somebody's, 6 somebody's that you gave birth to, and they won't let you talk to them. Like you did something to them. Like you tried to kill them or something. Like like you wasn't feeding them and teaching them every day. Like every day you weren't protecting them. Like every day you didn't get up and do it again. Because there are so many of parents out there that don't get up to do it again. They don't want to participate in their children's lives. They don't care to keep their children safe. There's mothers out there that are prostituting their children, intentionally putting their own children in harm's way. But here, we got a mother that's trying to do everything right to keep her kids safe, and they coming for her and coming for her hard and continuing to put every obstacle in her way to keep her from her children. And like I said before, this institution called Child Protective Services doesn't always protect the child or the best interest of the child. Now, granted, I've been in the room with some cases where that's most certainly what we've done. But for this, I can't understand it. Taste of Vegan. Hi, how are you? Shalom. And shalom to everybody else out there that's listening. There's a few other people there. Can you imagine? We can't. You know what? We can as mothers. Because how many times have we imagined the worst case scenario happen to our children? Now, I don't know about all the other moms out there. Maybe I'm just a worry wart, right? But as soon as my children were born, there was something that happened in me that all I wanted to do was protect them by all costs. Even the drive home from the hospital was a thing. Every cough, every fall, and God help my soul when they start leaving out of that house without me. The first time they didn't call me when they should have been home. Our minds go to the worst case scenarios, and they don't understand that. We're being dramatic. You need to let go. Well, that's really, really hard to do. And it's even harder to do when they've been taken from you. It's one thing when they leave the nest. Hell, it was hard when my daughter was kind of wrenched from the nest. Well, she wrenched herself, but it was still wrenching nonetheless. I cried for 2 months because she moved to her dad's house. And you know, she was like 3 months from her 18th birthday. COVID was going on. I didn't want her to go back to school because all the stuff that was going on, she wanted to. She called her dad, and dad said, "Come on." And I relented. And now here I am with the empty nest syndrome. And I guess something else happens when they get grown. I'm doing my air quotes here, right? Something else happens when they get grown. There is a cord that is cut, just like in delivery, right? And you can move on. All of my thoughts are not to what is she doing? What is he doing? Where are they at? So, Taste of Vegan, can you do me a favor? I hope you can. And give Jess a call for me. Oh, thank you so much. Girl, it's been so long since I did a live. Oh my, it has to be a few years, like a year. Probably the last time I did a live was when the last time Shamarja was on here. Yeah. That was probably the last time I did live. I was all fumbling around. Forgot about how it looks when I share the screen and y'all seeing all the back end and all that different kind of stuff. I don't do lives anymore. I thought when I got to Africa that I would be posting all kinds of stuff and content, and I would turn into this like awesome African content creator, and I would still be doing, lessons online and doing hosting on other YouTubers channels. And that's not what God had for me. He set me down, you know. Coming to Africa is a different story for everybody that comes here, right? For me, as you know, I had an empty nest, and I had to take some advice that I had been giving my own children for their whole life, and that is to experience life, right? And I tell my kids, travel the world, get your education, and all this other kind of stuff. But I got caught up in the trappings of being a mother, and the survival that goes along with living in the United States. And I needed to take my own advice. And after I finished crying about my daughter leaving home, and being lonely, I said, you know what? You could do anything you wanted right now, but you're choosing to cry, right? And right around that time, I had my awakening. And um, the Most High told me to go. And that's what I did. And I was scared to be here. I cried a lot being here too. But the Most High showed me my groove. I'm not sure that I'm completely on the right path or not, but I'm still like He wanted me to be. I'm healing like He wanted me to. I'm confronting my fears. It has definitely been a healing journey, and I'm forever grateful for it. With that said, I would like to present to you Jessica Brown. Hello, Jess. How are you?
Thank you. Hi, I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Um, Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hey. So,
um, I can't hear all of a sudden. I need to put my
okay, give me a
thing
sec.
on Do Not Disturb because every time there's a
Okay, and I
call, for some reason it goes in and then I can't hear anything. Okay.
okay,
Hello?
yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
afraid
super
it might
low.
be my
Let me
speaker
go out
too.
and come back in again. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right, y'all. And I'm also might have some speaker issues, so I'm gonna fix those too. We're just gonna turn this off so I can plug up these earbuds. I hope we don't get disconnected, y'all. It'd be the silliest things with my computer. I'm running out of storage, and if y'all know anything about that, it causes all kinds of havoc. All right, that looks like it did it. All right. All right, while we're waiting, can everybody hear me good, as good or better now? I didn't even check before if y'all could hear me the first time. Give me a one if you can hear me okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Oh, okay, I know who that is. Shalom, how are you? Cad Bright. All right, so um, so again, I want to reiterate. Oh, there should be a banner running right here. See, I'm so out of look. I haven't done a YouTube in forever. Um, is that the one I want to use? That's not the one I want to use. This is the one I want to use. All right. So, if you feel so moved, please send Jess a PayPal or Cash App, and it's on the screen. It is also linked in the description page on the channel you chose to listen to tonight, which is Beat in the Street. Um, uh, Anything is going to help her, but I hope that you can be generous. Um, be moved, not for justice sake. As parents, we're not always uh, what's the word I want to use? As parents, we're not always liked. As parents, are not without sin. We are not without offense. We are imperfect people. We are. Most certainly, we are. We can, you know what we can do with people. But them babies is something else, right? And they can get on our nerves and we can be frustrated with them, but they're still children nonetheless. So I hope the Most High moves you to give as generously as you can. All right. And I would like to introduce to you Jess. Hello, Jess. Shalom. How are you?
Shalom, peace, everybody. I'm well.
I'm glad to hear it. All right, y'all, these earbuds.
Technical
Some
difficulty.
things, let me tell you, the things in Tanzania are cheap. And I lost one in the box to a very expensive pair of Bose earbuds that I brought from the United States. Do y'all know I wanted to cry?
I know
I
how it
use those
feels.
things for everything. And these earbuds, they work, but they're not all that great. They're not. So let's go ahead and get started here today, Jess. Give me just a second to put this into frame. Oh, girl, I haven't done a YouTube in forever. This is horrible.
You gotta show me how to do this. This is cool. StreamYard,
This,
that's cool.
well, actually, I'm using the wrong. Again, I haven't done this in over the last time we did a YouTube. This is the last time I think I've done a live.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I just hadn't been moved to do so whatsoever. Um, and it shows in my execution. Usually, I had gotten to a point I was doing lives once a week, stateside,
Wow.
once a week on my own channel, and then I hosted red letter rap
Oh wow.
um, for over a year.
Mm.
And then once I got here, I just got quiet, just listening and, just reevaluating some things, right?
Mhm.
Learning, growing, healing, like I was discussing before. Isn't okay. Let's start with my introduction. I don't want to get too off the beaten path here. So, shalom and welcome to this exclusive live stream hosted by me, Beaten Street. Today we will be having a special guest, which is a friend of mine that I met here in Tanzania, Jessica Brown, right? Who will be sharing her incredible and gripping story from her journey to Tanzania back to the to being picked up by the FBI in the United States. Jessica's experiences, one I don't think any of us want to know about. Like we want to know what happened. So Jessica, um, I'm just gonna go for it. Jessica, did the FBI present a warrant when they arrested you? And what was the warrant specific to your situation and the condition of your children?
Nobody presented anything to me, like in paper, writing, anything. I actually asked for something, not the warrant. I was just alone. 6 weeks postpartum, 6 week old baby, five children on 21-hour flight,
Uh,
you know.
how long was the flight? Tell everybody how long it is to travel from Tanzania to where they picked you up.
All right, so I went from Tanzania to Qatar. It was like 5 hours, I believe, and then in Qatar we stayed there for like 12 hours or something. Like we basically spent the night in Qatar, and then we took a 21-hour flight from Qatar to um, LAX.
So for
And so 21, yeah, like 26 hours, and
and then in a 12-hour delay with six children until one being breastfed
yeah,
on a vegan diet at that.
I know it. I was when I got to Qatar. Oh my gosh! Like I thought they were saying American prices. I was like, oh my gosh, that's all the money. But like I'm not eating nothing. This is the only thing I could eat, which is Qatar. They have the Mediterranean food. We love that. So we have like hummus and all, like and falafel, with the children. And then there was this huge place where they can play, and they were playing in the playground or whatever. And then yeah, and so but then I learned that it wasn't American prices. So at the end, I was like, all right, I'm most High is gonna provide like he always do, and I and I just paid for the water and our meal, and he was like, and I think it was like 300 something of Qatar or something. So I started taking out the USD like this is it. And even before that, I was just calculating forever, and then he was like, oh, USD, and it still was pricey. It was like $90, but still, I was just like, woo, I got some money.
$90 for food?
Oh, it's always like that, like with all the
Wow.
outside of Tanzania, at least. Like when um, even the States, like if we were out to eat, we would pay like the cheapest thing we would get is Chipotle. So because of we kind of are like non-starch vegans, we're like non-starch vegans, and that would come up with drinks and everybody's meal. That would come up like close to $80. So that was the cheapest thing we could get if we ate out. So I was always home cooking fresh and like from scratch at the house. That was what we were used to. But that's how it was.
So what would you say as a mother traveling with six children? What was your state of mind? I mean, before any of this happened, where were you at? Like, you know,
From you mean where? What was my mind like
the
from
the, the
Tanzania
flight.
to?
I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Oh,
we
traveling.
we traveling with six children. How was that?
I mean, I already kind of did a little bit of traveling when I was in the States.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I was breastfeeding I was breastfeeding, so I would drive from well, I feel like I was always like kind of like escaping
So
because
they've been on a few long flights, right?
yeah,
They obviously made
yeah,
the first trip over here.
right.
How
And
were
then
they
before
on the
that, we
plane?
yeah, and then before that, we were like driving from Rhode Island, Massachusetts to all the way to Alabama. So, but the flight, they're fine. They got the TV, they have everything on those flights now. I didn't even realize. Just at the time when I was breastfeeding that, not the newborn, but the then maybe 2 year old, he he just didn't like taking off or sitting still and being strapped in. Like that was it. Once he
How was
realized
he this time ago? How was it this time?
he put the headphones, watching, he's playing video, he's playing the games. They have games and stuff. Like I
Wow.
had to tell them, listen, once it takes off, like because I have to think about our schedule. Okay, it's time we're gonna eat. You guys can watch what you need to watch now, but then it's sleep. Because the TV, the screen will keep them up. Even if they're sleepy, they'll keep them up and he'll play. So he was good, other than, it's like, hey, it's time to shut that down, go to bed. And then they went to bed though. They're good listeners, but still, they're a little bit upset. But that's it. They were good. Even the baby, she's the most peacefulest baby ever. Like she only it's like almost never that I was like taking too long to feed her. But like if I showered and I'm hearing her, she needs me, then she's like, all right, give me food. That's the only thing that she ever complained about as a newborn, which she almost never cried because I was always with her, and I had two housekeepers at the time, and so it was like everything was taken care of before we left. So it was just like she was always with me, just skin to skin, breastfeeding, and she's just so peaceful. So it was the same on the flight, just like at the house on the flight. She no noise, no complaining. She just wanted to be close to me, like she always is, anyways. Because you know how it is in Tanzania. All you see is the women with the babies. That was how it is. So she was
They hooked
always
to a mama or a daddy somewhere. They not and until they can walk good, and then you see them everywhere. But
right, just walk right, walking down the street like
and
hurting up,
nobody. I even
running
hate to
around.
like admit stuff like that on YouTube, right? Because I never want the wrong type of people to visit Tanzania, right?
Right,
Because there definitely is a type of innocence here. And it's not to say that Tanzania is roses. It has its issues. But for me, it's perfect for what I need. I'm single. I don't have no attachments and I don't want any. So it makes it ideal for me to be here, right? But off of me, and let's talk about the events of that day. Can you describe what transpired on the day of your arrest?
okay.
What were the circumstances leading up to the arrest, and uh, and how did you first learn that law enforcement was even looking for you?
At the airport when they got me, like I mean, I learned later that my passport was flagged in Qatar. So they were already planning. Like it was so when you hear it, when you really read it, it's really wicked. Like when you think about all of it and how they're treating me now, or like holding my at least the newborn hostage, like it's like Qatar, like oh they knew about it in Qatar, they knew who was coming, and then it's just like so they got everything set up for the arrival. Where flying the dad from um East Coast to the West Coast, getting DCF in place, knowing that it's a Tanzanian baby. Like, what are you doing?
So
Why
so
not?
they alerted the father, but didn't alert any of your family to take possession of this newborn baby.
I'm just like with you just saying that right now. Exactly. They alert. Yep. All of that. They could have just made things if it was for the best interest of the children, like they want to say, um, and not trying to so-called where I feel like where they put in there, she's a Hebrew Israelite, she's sovereign citizen, caution, she might not be cooperative, like the first page. It's like what like if it's the best interest of the
And so,
children,
how did you
it's
see
like, okay,
this? Like, how did you find out that they had flagged you as some type of
like
radical?
okay, it's my ex-husband. My ex-husband, like even before, during our separation, the control and like then I was scared. Then I was under all this mind control. Like it's so abusive, and he would say during our separation, he'd be like, "I'm gonna tell them this," and things that weren't it, but he just knows how the system is. Like he is just aware of it. Like and he's just aware of how things are, like really corrupt and how we are trying like our like he knew our family goals and what we did everything it was wasn't involved with how I raised the children much. It was just like okay,
How old were you when you met this man?
15 and yeah, 15 years old.
And you had your first child when you were how old?
I was pregnant at 16, and
So
that's
you were the same age as your oldest child is now.
yes. And I remember like once I got pregnant, his family like came up to me. It was like a meeting type of thing because he's from Brazil. He's not even from United States. And they were like, how about you ask your parents if you could just like since you're pregnant, like marry him because he doesn't have any papers and things like that. And I was just like, I'll ask. My mom was like,
Oh
hell no.
wow.
Yeah, my mom was like, "Hell no." And then,
Wow.
even with their lawyer and stuff, they had his lawyer talking to me, like their like immigration lawyer and stuff, talking about steps because the baby, like I'm pregnant and stuff, and just talking about, I don't know, it's just the same thing, whatever. But at that, so that's how that happened, anyways. And so
I gotta I know this is off, but this is a piece of information that I didn't know. Like, so basically, he married you to become a citizen of the United States. How long after you were married did you decide? It's a two-part question. When did you know you needed to leave, and when did you actually leave?
this is what's crazy spiritually, and I feel like people need to understand this, or women need to understand this. It's like, I feel like we go on this journey, that whole doubt thing, the doubting, even doubting the Most High, doubting the Holy Spirit. It's like we don't really know what that voice is. We are confused. We're not clear unless we really are, can really just focus and seek and like, I don't know, like I just been on a journey of that. So I feel like when I look back, I knew that like at 18 that, but and it was a little bit of a separation. But I would say in 2011, when I actually began to seek um the Most High, 2011, I was like, I remember I like my whole life was changed. Like I remember going to the altar, giving my life to Christ, and just being like, I'm brand new, and from here on out, I'm going to seek the Most High. And so I did that, and and that's where the whole unashamed, guilt-free type of going on these cycles of trying to break off fears that I didn't know was fear. Like that's where it started. 2011, after I had my second daughter. And I remember saying like, wait, like, cause I was reading the word and stuff, like, wait, this is not right. I don't think we're both really married, because you never even asked me married. I don't want to be fornicated. I remember right at that time just being in that mindset, just like right when you give you like, and I remember telling him and stuff like that, like, I don't, and then I went to a church. Like then I ended up I was into it. I started going to that church. So it was like within that week of giving my life to Christ, and then really trying to study and stuff. And I was like, wait, am I really married? Is this really, I want to please the Most High, Really, that was my mindset at the time. And I remember the woman, I started asking the women there, because they're all, I've never been a Christian. I've never had an upbringing of any type of, in anything, like I kind of felt like in a way, yeah, I was raised by a single mom, so she was like, working. It's not like she did the best she knew how at the time. So like spiritually and stuff, mentally and all that, like, and directing me, like I didn't have that. Like I said, she did the best she could. Like that's my girl now, But I'm just thinking back then. So anyway, not to like say nothing bad about her or anything, but that I remember just, so I went to the women at the church, because I'm trying to be like now like a Christian woman from my understanding at the time, right? I want to learn how to be a good Christian woman, a good mom, a good wife, like my life. That's where I was like, yes, I need to learn how to do this. I know this is good for me. And so I'm reading, and I remember telling the woman, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be married. Like, I mean, I'm not married, really. Like, I've never really been married. I'm just on a paper married. And she was like, God hates divorce, and in his eyes, you're married and you must stay. And I would be explaining how my life is. I'm like, yo, he's so mean to me. Like, he like is just like, I don't even know what's, and he's like, you gotta submit to your husband. You must do the right thing when the wrong things are happening. God hates divorce. And like, so I remember I used to like, especially with the mental abuse. Oh my gosh. Like, I would just be like, I remember washing dishes. Like, that's such a, when I think back, that's probably why I remember. I remember washing dishes, being like, do the right thing even though the wrong things happen. Like, telling myself that over and over, because of like how angry I would be about how I was being treated, or how sad I would be. Like, and I would just really change my mind, change my mind, change my mind. So I'm already being brainwashed by a doctrine that is not even in alignment with what I am started to seek later on, where, like you said, where I thought I should leave and then I didn't, and then where I was like, wow, I gotta leave. So then that was 2011, not until 2016, and I feel like it really had to do with the food and how I eat. I was just really seeking the Most High about like health and stuff, because how I was feeling, how my children, like, skin issues, eczema, and I had a lot of acne, and I
Well, you
was just,
don't now, girl. Not a drop.
I'm kidding. But no, I thank the Most High. I remember just being like in the mirror, like, you're good. What you made is good. I don't like what I look like. Like, this is not good. So please help me understand what's going on. Like, what's happening. Oh yeah, and I had like candida issues. So I was just like, what is happening? And so then I just went on, well, I was already getting a little health conscious, because my son, my and 2014 actually, because my son had eczema, and then I learned like stop doing I think it was what's it called, gluten and wheat. It was wheat, and once I stopped doing wheat, no more eczema. He never had eczema again, and then it was. And I think the dairy too, like I wasn't giving milk at least. We were doing dairy, but just I wasn't having him have milk like all the time, like they recommend, and all the time you go to doctor visits, so much dairy. So then no more eczema. But then I was still like, what's up? Like I'm eating clean at least, but I was still eating not vegetables. I was not vegan, but I was eating clean, like cooking from scratch, and not processed containers like grew up just kind of getting the salad dressings, mixing it with the chicken and stuff, making that flavor. So anyway, um, so then I learned my dad. It was a lie. My dad was sending my dad was the one who's got me on the journey from the get go. He was always sending me Bibles, WWJD paraphernalia. When I was really young, I had all my Bibles were from him growing up. But then around when I'm deep in the church in 2016. Like he used to say, "You doing overtime," because I was there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, doing meetings. I was like a
It's on
leader
fire for the Most High. Ain't
on
nothing wrong with that.
fire. I was a leader in the classrooms from 0 to 5, leading the teachers, doing meetings with them. Like I was doing a lot, and I remember he was like, "You still giving your money to that church?" He kept saying, "I'm like, what is that? What are you selling? Like, what are you doing now?" And he used to send me some stuff about how this is like Roman Catholic, like all this stuff that some of us know now. That's like online has taught us that whoa, some of this is just not what it seems to be when it comes to some Christian doctrines or whatever. So I started seeking like I started actually I was eating. He was sending me Dr. Sebi stuff. So back to the food. So when he started sending me Dr. Sebi diet and all this, I tried it, and in 2 weeks I didn't even know I could have. I thought I was normal, but the energy I had was crazy. My skin was like after 1 month, my skin was just like glowing. After the 2 months, it was just like I was already like small, but like it was just I wasn't even exercising nothing, but it was just like I felt good, and like all this extra weight, I guess it was like water weight. I always had like this little belly that I thought I had diastasis recti or whatever, but no, like all this stuff just like I just felt great. And I was like, and when the candida went away, the acne went away, and I never had that problem again. And and so I was like, okay, but Dr. Sevi would say things like, God is good, and all these things, and like, and what he made was good, and so just eat what God makes. God is love. If you love, So this brings me to the point of in the church as well. I would like, because I was part of the children's ministry, they were always about like, we got to sugar these kids up because we want them to be on fire like begging their
Strange.
begging their parents to come to church. Like we want, like that's what my leader would say. We want the kids to beg their family to come to church. So what I was with mega church, so it was like we planned like bounce houses. We go to BJ, Sam's Club, those big box stores, and get marshmallows, candy, all the junk food that kids love. Like when I think about it, then I was like, just like Dr. Sebi was saying, it's like if you love me or you love your child, why would you give them poison if you know it's poison now? Because Dr. Sebi starts showing how some of these things
In
are poison.
essence, they were being the kids' dope dealers, right? So to get
Right,
them hooked on the drug, sugar,
right,
and then they would come to church, not because they loved the Lord, not because they actually were teaching them what was going on, but because they give us candy, so let's go because of
right.
that.
Candy, bounce houses, all this, all whatever. And so I was convicted. So that was my conviction. And then so then I think so back to the doubt. Then I think that's when I was like tapping into like, is God, that says it's a conviction. I didn't understand at the time. When I look back at it, it was these convictions of mine that were like understanding who God is more and more. And then then I feel like because I was eating healthier and I'm seeking and understanding, my eyes were open. I was no longer asleep to like these doctrines, and where I would just, I would be sitting in church and be like, whoa, that's not what that said. And why is everybody just clapping? Because he's clapping. Like I was just like, what is happening? Like, he literally just switched the script, like, for y'all to just come to church. Like, it's marketing. Like, what? This is makes no sense. So anyway, I just whatever. I'm seeking, and then it was about like a lot about love and submission. I
Did
mean,
your husband go to church with you? But
he was going. Yeah, he was going to
okay.
church. Is huh?
Was it their family church, or was it a church
No,
he
no, no. It
chose,
was.
or you guys church together?
Um, it's like it's kind of a long story, but to make it short, I pray that he would go to church like word for word, and he literally came back and like it happened, like everything I said, it like he like said it back to me, and he ended up going, but I was just going. I had been begging because even before giving my life to Christ, that's what I said at the time. But even give my life to Christ at that time and start seeking the Most High, like I was at a place where like I had nothing. I had no car anymore, no phone anymore, no job anymore. I was stuck at home with my daughter, like, and I had a like, and I was when I was stuck, I felt I was stuck at the time, but I knew the Most High needed me to be there, but like so I could. That's the only way for me to do what I was called to do, which is now I understand. Learn to be a mother, learn to homeschool, learn to break generational curses, right? Because that's how the food thing came about too. It's like, dang, all your family have these health problems. Look into this. Look at your son has a health problem. Look into what he should, So
Let
I
me
want
get
to,
you. Let's get back on track, right?
right, right,
It's all interesting. We can get lost in here, and there's definitely going
right.
to be a part
So
two to
it
this
brings it, yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff that we can't necessarily talk about now, but after all of this is said and done, and the Most High restores you, then we'll be able to talk about those things, right? So
right.
again, describe what transpired on the day of your arrest. What
Okay.
after you got off that plane and you landed in LAX in Los Angeles. Um, how far off the plane did you get? Were you able to get to customs, so to speak, or were they just standing right at the doors of the plane for you?
Um, It was like, you come off and it's before baggage claim. Before baggage claim. So it's like, it's kind of sometimes it's a long walk to certain areas. So right when you're coming off the plane, you leave it this hallway or whatever, and then it's just like right there normally before you get into the population of the people usually. Yeah,
Mhm.
before any like I don't even remember going through any of that. So anyway, yeah, so that's what it was. They
So
said,
the only people that saw you detained were the people that came off of the flight with you.
no, it wasn't like that. They didn't like arrest me right there. They were just like, "Hey, are you Jessica? Come follow me." And I just followed them. Like I figured I don't know, maybe I had too much sea moss in my bag in my luggage. Like,
So they weren't wearing these blue FBI jackets, and they didn't have on they 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 didn't
yeah, so
they
two
didn't
marshals.
identify themselves.
It was like border patrol marshals. Yeah, they didn't identify themselves. I was just under, you know, st-
So
I-
they
fear.
didn't have any visible ID badges, jackets, nothing like that.
I was just so I believe I believe maybe, yeah, you could tell they worked for something like the U.S. Marshals. They were marshals. I believe it might have said said it like on maybe his vest, on the back of his vest. Maybe I can't
The
remember. It was
U.S. the U.S. the U.S. Marshals are bounty hunters.
Yeah, so
That's what.
it was marshals, border patrol. That's what it said, border patrol. I remember reading that on somebody, and I believe it was one of the at least one of the there was one guy. He doesn't look he looked more normal. Maybe he had a belt on with some stuff, and then the other guy he like had a jacket, but it wasn't. It was probably it was black, so it wasn't too like, hey, she's being escorted with some guys, like it wasn't so visible. But I knew that it was like some type of maybe government authority.
How are the kids? I mean, did they realize there were anything going on?
I mean, they knew because they were like, "Are you Jessica Brown? Are you Jessica Brew?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, they were just like, they're like, "Follow me." And I just followed them. I was scared. I'm like, and I got my kids. Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't
Were
know.
the kids scared? I mean, I'm saying I want to see if you realize was your kids better than anybody. What was the look on their face? What do you think they were thinking about?
It was just happened so fast. I just followed them, and so I'll tell you, we followed him, and then he said, "You guys can sit over here." So we were back maybe in the Qatar area of Qatar, but like nobody was around there. It was area where nobody was, and he was like, "You you tell the kids to sit down over on here, task the baby to your daughter, and come follow me to this room." And a woman came, and then I was like, "Am I in trouble?" And they were like, "No." And then she said, "Put your hands on the," but then she patted, but then she said, "Put your hands on the wall," patted me down and handcuffed me to the bench. So, and then they left, and then two FBI agents came in, which I believe named Lise George. I know one's name was George. I believe it was her, but I know for sure the other one, who I was speaking to more, his name is Sarah. And and so the one, I believe that's George. I believe it was. Her with the dark hair, she was on my left, and she was like, "So you're gonna tell your children bye?" Oh no, I think she said, international parental kidnapping, like that's like you're charged, we're under arrest for that. And so we're gonna give you the opportunity to say bye to your children. And I was like, so like what do you want me to say? That they're going where? Like where? Like what do you want me to say? And she's like, you can say bye to your children. Like she wasn't telling me, and I was like, what I'm supposed to tell them that they're going with their dad that molested my daughter to his mother's two-bedroom daycare house, like that? Like that's what I'm supposed to tell them? Like what? I don't even know where to, like, what are you talking about? Do you know that he molested my daughter? She's like, um, you're you're just saying like we're gonna let you say bye. I'm like, let me
No,
just think.
they a woman. There's no way. I'm just speaking for myself. There's no way. I'm a FBI agent. I have the authority of the federal government behind everything that comes out of my mouth. And this beautiful black woman with 6 children tells me my husband molested my daughter. There's no
She
way that
knows.
I send her. There's no
She knows.
way that I send her. There
She
is
knows.
no way that I send any of those children. Maybe, okay, maybe we send the boys to him, but we're going to send those girls somewhere else. You have someone you can call to come and pick them up or something like that to that effect? But there's no way when I have the power of the federal government behind me, because she literally could have made that call. She
So
could have
could have.
she could have said, no, okay, the boys can go, but the girls cannot. The mother has claimed that the father has molested the daughter. So under these circumstances, we're not going to release the daughters to the father.
Right. Let's thoroughly invest, just like I said in the courtroom. My All they were saying in the courtroom before I left, before I decided I was going to um go to Tanzania, in which anyway, so they go, um she says, "I'm trying to get you more money at in the custody hearing or whatever. I'm trying to get you more money." I'm like, "I don't want no money. I'm not about money. Who you think I am? I'm trying to protect my children." I didn't say that. I said on the record, it's on the record. I said the allegations against my daughter have not been thoroughly investigated, and my daughter has not been heard. Then my ex-husband jumps up. He's like a master manipulator. He just starts talking, 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 talking. And then same with his lawyer, and same with whoever else works for them, which is a guardian ad litem who lied in the courtroom on the record, stating something that did not come out of my daughter's mouth. Like everyone has been trying to keep my children quiet, and that's what he's trying to do now. Trying to keep my children quiet because my children are truthful. They'll tell the truth. They'll say anything. That's how we. That's how we live. That's how I live. You see, I'm online shameless, even in my mistakes, even in like anything. It's just like that's how I'm transparent, and I raise them to be, don't be afraid to, even confess every night. That's what we do. To say what you're grateful for, say what you want to work on or what you shouldn't be doing, and whatever that you feel that you need to say, like let it out. Don't just keep it in and then try to mask it, because then that's how you hurt people. Yeah, whatever. You get how I raise my kids. So, um, so that's what I'm saying. Like, when no one's going to help you protect your children, what do you do? They Nobody cares. Um, so anyway, yeah. So they don't care. Like that. Even just talking about this now, like if you just hear the story now, I understand why so many people and so many women this happens to them. So many families, because you can say the truth in the courtrooms, and they just are like, anyways, who cares? Like, for real.
How did your children react to you having to say goodbye to them?
I think they did what all the FBI agents said. They all thanked me. Everybody thanked me because I keep my peace. I'm cool. I'm quiet. I'm cool. I don't act out of control. I know, like, so. Um, and everybody was saying, you handled it well. You handled all this well. We can't believe it. Like, everybody. But excuse me. But then they lied on the whole paperwork, saying that she's uncooperative. It's crazy. So anyway, she said, so this is what happened. She told me I'd say goodbye. I said, can you just give me a minute to just like think about like what is happening? Like, what do I say to my, like, that's crazy. And the fact it's more crazy to me is because we were in communication. It was, and he said to my children, "Oh, I don't want you guys to come back to America. It's better that you guys are there with your mom. It's not good. I don't want you guys in these schools. I don't want you guys, even when we were here and we were trying to put them in an international school." And I thought that, international school, giving my children an opportunity to like be exposed to another like exposed in a different way. That's when he's like, I'm not paying child support if you put them around people. And that too, an investigation. Why don't you investigate any roommates I might have had, any housekeepers I've had? No, they didn't investigate anything. They just like, let's get this so-called Hebrew Israelite woman and who so-called is sovereign, their words, based off of my husband believing the things that we already know they conspire against our just melanated people, and even different religions. And so he was like, I'm gonna tell them that you're part of this. I'm gonna tell them that you're part of that. And it was showed up in there.
But
All he said.
but are you a Hebrew Israelite?
In those
No,
words,
let me say this. Let me say that. Are you a Black Hebrew Israelite?
if I think they're trying, from their understanding, they're trying to put it under some radical religious group. And
They're trying to put it under the group of the men that stand out in the street
yeah,
screaming.
what I am, for me, I don't subscribe to any labels or anything. I'm just a woman who happens to be brown, and I seek the Most High, Almighty Creator, whatever anybody else wants to call it. That's what I do. They can look. They should investigate online and seen about my history, read about everything. Right? They should have really investigated, but no.
I mean, your life is literally online, and
Online.
that's going to be that's going to be really his downfall.
Right. My life is online. No,
He
he's
has
trying
all
to.
your social media. I'm sure he's probably commented on things on your page. They can probably see his history of looking at it. He's not sending messages saying, bring my kids back. He ain't leave no post. Why don't you bring my kids back? She stole my kids.
But
None of this stuff.
I have all the PayPals, all the Cash Apps, all the emails, and talk to my kids. Let my babies, even the little ones who are so innocent, say, I'm on a live, but you're welcome. Nice to see you. Your keys here too. Shout out to my mama. Um,
Shalom.
so yeah, so I have all of that they could say and see. Oh wait, how was it, or what, but they didn't do that. They don't care. They just want to not be wrong. So they're all trying to figure out a case right now against me by he's not allowing me to speak to any of my children. He's saying that he's instructed by some professionals that they shouldn't be talking to me. And it's like, what are you trying to hide? What's wrong with talking to me? Like, what's wrong with talking to me? I've spoken to them after this whole thing, and it's just I can only speak through his phone, whatever. But there was just pictures and things I wanted to share. That's like I don't want to put those on his phone. I said, can we do a group chat, like, and put it in there? Can I get their phone numbers? Or no, 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 only, So anyway, everything was all retaliation because he doesn't get my passport flagged. He doesn't try to get, because I guess the investigations from the beginning, there was like basically it says January 2024 at an interview. Why January 2024? January 24, 2024. I have a baby coming, right? And that's what you're mad about. So let's flag her passport. Like, and let's try to open up this investigation. Let's try to traumatize her more and more, like we've been doing not even just her. He thinks he's doing this to me. That's what they all think. They think they're doing this to me, but they're doing it to innocent children. That's what they're doing. They want to hurt me, I guess, so bad for protecting them. They can't find anything. They still have my luggage. I don't know what they're looking for. They're trying to find stuff. They're trying to paint a picture of me, but it's not working. And so
And
now
what would
they
they
have
find in
perfected.
the luggage? What would they find in the luggage? The children's Bibles, their
Oh, they're gonna find a
instruments.
whole luggage. They're gonna find some sea moss. But besides clothing, they're gonna find some sea moss. They're gonna find a bunch of like herbs with burdock root and dandelion filled with iron. They're gonna find what else? A whole luggage full of books and hooked on phonics to teach kids to read because he said I never enrolled them into school and he has reason to believe their education, they're being neglected. That's funny because you can ask my children, or they could get his phone and investigate, look at the text messages and see, it looks like when Jessica told you about an opportunity, your oldest daughter won a scholarship to a school, that she wanted to enroll the other daughter in there too. And you said, you better not put them in that school or I'm going to stop sending any child support. Oh, and now because I'm not sending child support, it says it on the report. I have reason to believe they're being malnourished. Why don't you ask the children, or why don't you look at them online? And that too, they said the children didn't look malnourished. The children looked well kept, like they had no issue. And then why don't you ask the children what they were eating every day and who was in our house cooking and cleaning every day. Like not every day except for Sunday. The women were off; they went to church. So and the roommates that lived with me during January. Why aren't we talking about any of these people? Like, come on now. Like, it's just ridiculous and it's getting real whack to me at this point. But I digress.
I get it. I get it. I get it. All right. Um, so you covered basically the evidence that they had against you, that they believe that you kidnapped your children, that they're malnourished and undereducated as well.
Yes, and and that I concealed them for 2 years, but we are in contact. How come my passport's not flagged from Tanzania to Ethiopia, Ethiopia to Jordan, and Jordan to Ethiopia, and back to Tanzania again? Why not then? Was it because he agreed that this was the best interest for the children? The word for word, you're better off outside of America. I'm going to help get you guys a place to stay. I'm going to pay consistently weekly on Thursdays, knowing our schedule because we were keeping Shabbat on Saturday. He knows our schedule. You hear him screaming in the voice in the YouTube video too. He knows our schedule, but that's what he would do. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like nitpicking. We had to hide if people were around us because I mean, because we can't tell him anything, or he's going to. I'm gonna try to interrupt your food, shelter, water. That's how much you care about your kids. It's like if we can't, it's crazy. And so anyway, he would do that stuff on Thursdays, knowing that's my schedule. I'm a very organized type of mommy. Like that's kind of what I do on my consulting and coaching side. But he knows that. So Thursdays, that's when he would try to and not give and then not try to do something on Sunday. But the Most High always provided, and that's what I started to learn. That's like, even though it frustrated me, like you're messing up our whole schedule. We cook, we buy food on Thursdays, we prep all day Friday together, and Shabbat we chill, listen to worship, we pray and read and study, and you want to mess that up? Why? And because he can't control, because he can't groom, because that's what he wants. Obviously now I understand why he was like adamant about making sure I don't know, he had all the like talk had to talk during certain times during certain days to make sure to know what I was doing at all times and to um like have an opportunity to like get possibly unsupervised phone calls, right? Because I'm super empathetic, I'm super forgiving, and he apologized and everything to both of me and my daughter for what had happened and what he had put everybody through, the trauma. And so I give him opportunity. Okay, yeah, but I'm gonna supervise his call. So let me, okay, and then eventually, of course, I would have, been like, all right, I don't need to supervise. It looked like he changed, right? Like it looked like okay, wow, like he's learning from his mistake. He put up boundaries, whatever. And so, but no. So then when I'm noticing, why would you? Who does this? This is abusive. We're not. I'm not tolerating this. I put up another boundary. Then it's like, well, then I'm not. I'm gonna make sure I don't feed my kids and make sure that drives you crazy. But over time, around like December, it was September when he did that thing with the schooling, when I tried to enroll them into the international school, which they did go for a time. But then I just was like, most High's providing any wow, like I don't need to deal with this. I don't need to. And it was scary for me to be like, just let it go. This person does not care about his children because who keeps doing this? I don't need to rely on this support. And yeah, I wish like someone could understand that, this many, I mean, 5 children is a lot, and I could use, some help. Like, but you know what? Forget it. If it's only with conditions, just forget it. So that was around like, it was like more and more September, October, November, December, January. I think it was probably December that I was like, nah, I'm not putting myself through this, in anymore, and my family through this, and like it's just not okay. And my daughter too, she was like, like she just had enough. Like I just seen how upset she would be, and she was like, I'm done. I don't want to. And there was times where like, oh, your dad is on the phone, wants to talk. No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I don't. And I'm like, okay, like whatever, you're old enough to make that decision. And so yeah, January he sees I don't have control, like I want control, let me have an interview. That's what it says in the report. The FBI agent does ask him if he wanted, I don't know, something like that, and he said January 2024 if he came to her George, Lise George, I believe, to for an interview. And that's when he started bringing up about neglect for adequate schooling. I mean, neglect for I didn't enroll them in school as if I wasn't a homeschooler since 2011. They've never, like, what are you talking about? They've never probably been homeschooled anyways. And we do, and as you saw in the videos, guitar lessons, piano lessons. We have freaking self defense. We had also they went to school for some time, and then they have what was it? I forgot. But anyways, it's all online. So um, he's just trying to say things that, sound, I don't know, like they're hearsay. And so the FBI agent, I guess, just went with it instead of investigating. And it said that on the report, she had another baby. So it's like, obviously you're angry I had a baby or something. You don't have control. And so let's try find a way to make her suffer because it seems like she doesn't need me. It seems like the kids don't need me either. So let's try to make them suffer. Like, but you went to Costa Rica during this time. No flag passport. You went to Costa Rica. Why haven't you figured out a way to come over here? No. So anyway, but
He
still,
did. He never did come to visit them. He never got on a plane
he
himself.
never even asked, never even tried, never. But
But
he
and
went to Costa
he has an American passport just like you do,
yeah.
or he can obtain an American passport just like you can.
Yeah, and he lives at his mother's 2-bedroom daycare, and so he doesn't have much to spend either, and probably makes over 70,000 a year. So what do you got plenty of time, money to go and paid days off to go and figure out something. You have plenty of time to even fix the trauma that because I'm super, like I said, I'm super empathetic, and that's my downfall. Super empathetic, super forgiving, and still healing from all of that, like mind control from being in that. So of course, um,
So, what motivated you to move back to the U.S.? What happened? Because this was sudden. Like uh, the 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 last time I saw you, you were here at my house, um, and we were talking about paths that day. Um, um, and I couldn't tell you. You asked me a very specific question that day. Well, what do you see then? Right? Um, You wanted Pacifics. There is no way that I could have told you that this would happen. The only thing I could tell you was what I saw, what kind of path I saw. I want you to remember, I don't want to talk about it, but I want you to really remember back to that day. There's no way I could have predicted something like this. Only to say to you, baby girl, that path don't look right. You understand me? Savi?
Well, whatever happened, like for me, when I was in Jordan, I was studying, like, so that's how I already had a desire to come back in Jordan. I just didn't know when. Because I when I was in Jordan, I was studying different lands, and long story short, from my belief and my understanding, I believe the melanated people who were already there, and I guess leaving and going back, like I believe that is our, at least me, my ancestors, my family. I believe this land is ours. That somewhere, somehow, on the west of the Americas, North, Central, South America, is that's where I my ancestors originally came from. That was my belief, and also even yeah. So I didn't know when I was gonna go back. I just looked at it. I'm gonna go. I had a dream too, and I knew that eventually I would be, especially when I went back to Tanzania, because that was part of the dream. But so not to say what I'm saying is the truth, just saying that I knew I'd be back because I had a dream in Jordan, as well as a desire to at least do some research and learn about my ancestors more, as well as live there. But then the stronger desire came, to make a long story short, to fast forward to that time, is that seeing that I had these older children now, and seeing that, okay, I have a newborn baby, and I know that it's kind of starting from the beginning, and where how I want to raise my newborns or my little ones. The boys to have different skills, and and when it comes to building and knowing how to build things like food, shelter, waters, and things, and like um, to be living more sustainable. Like I want to like live more sustainable and teach them that. And but I have these children, like older children, who grew up in technology. So it's like they might not want to be tagging along that long, like that well. So I need to get them to be prepared to be more financially independent. And I felt the where I could do that at easily without worrying about visas, not worrying about even the culture that I got like not accustomed to, but got more knowledge of as I um got closer to the locals. And so I was like, okay, first of all, I don't want to be in Tanzania. I don't think this is for me anymore. Um, but and the way I can prepare my older children to expose them to different career paths and to be financially independent in case when they turn their age and they're like, Ma, I don't agree. I kind of want to do my own thing. Then they're ready. They're not like, Mom, I don't want to be here. I want to do my own thing, but I got no money and I got no skills. Not saying they don't have skills, but I felt like they could have more skills if I came to America. Because then she's 16, she can get a permit, then start driving, driver's license. She can explore on her own and figure those things out. There's only so much I can do. I never had a teenager before, but for me, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
to
you're
get
right.
a
There's some of those
license.
things she can't do. Like, I mean, she can't just go and get a job at the local McDonald's
You
or
cannot get a
anything
job
like
in over here. You cannot get a job in, I mean, Tanzania. You cannot. I mean, we could get all that resident. That's not something I was gonna do and start paying for. Like I was I'm going in and out on a tourist visa, so it's like
that. Mhm.
no. Um, so yeah, as I got accustomed to how things are corrupt in a way when it comes to getting being able to be a resident or living in Tanzania, I was like, this is something I have to do. Come back later with this baby and build, build something, build a hotel or something, do something like that or whatever. But right now, I need to like, prepare these 16-year-old, the 13-year-old, in case she did have things that she expressed to me she wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I want to help you do that. I really want to help you do that, and I think let's go this direction. I think that would be dope. And So that's and I was like, and I already had the dream that I'd be there. I just didn't know when or where and how it would come about. But it's with what's going on now. It makes sense of about some of the dream that I had prophetic dream I had. So I get that. So yeah, we'll see. You know, I believe the best possible outcome, and we'll see what else comes of it. But yeah, that was it. That was to answer your question. That is how I decided, made that spiritual connection to the land that I wanted to go back, the support for the family, and then also the fact that my to expose my children, the oldest children, to different career paths so they can be financially like prepared if they decide they don't want to do what I'm doing.
Okay, I get it. We are always looking out for the best interests of our kiddos, and if you're not doing that, I don't know why you're a parent. So it is what it is.
I don't know why
Uh,
you're parents. Why is your dad doing
what is your purpose here? What are some of the challenges that you face while in Tanzania?
Okay, so where do I start? Okay, just being speaking English and not knowing their language, you know. So not just knowing not knowing Swahili. Like I think that's where it starts. You don't know Swahili, it's kind of it's really you're a dollar sign. You just a dollar you just a dollar sign, and they gonna get you. They gonna get they gonna get as much as they can from you unless you know unless you have somebody who can kind of help along the way. Which I know you are a really great helper. You helped me get our place when we arrived. Like that's my girl. And when I had my troubles because they were trying to get me before I left the place, they, you know, I had nowhere to go at one point, and well, I could have stayed, right? But it was like under all that pressure, it was better that I be with my village. And she offered, well, I knew when she offered that you could stay with me or whatever, I was like, wow, like then I didn't realize I could have that. So I had my community, and I was able to stay with you, and I appreciate
It was all good. It was all good. And then it gave me an opportunity to see you and the kids, the girls. I didn't have to cook, I didn't have to clean, I didn't have to do anything. And I was telling everybody before, you know, me and you had I've talked to you like I talked to my own child. You're a lot younger than I am, and you're a little tiny thing. So, you know, I feel like I have to be on big sister, and that's just my personality, period. Um, so I remember telling you even then, I think the girls, you give them too much responsibility, this, that, and the other. And I was just telling everybody here on the live, I said, I was wrong for saying that because um, now
Hold
they
on,
have to live.
pause,
Uh-oh.
because I don't know why the sound like I put it on do not disturb and okay. Can you speak?
Yeah. How about now?
It's so low now again. I'm gonna leave and
I
come
mean,
back in.
it might be me. How is this? Is it better? Uh-oh. That's not the right thing. Sorry about that, guys. Forgive me. Trying to plug up my phone just in case the power goes out. If you don't know Tanzania, the power can go out anytime. If your phone ain't charged, it's a wrap for you all day.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, oh, my my thingy disappeared.
Well, can you see me now?
Uh, my notes, they done disappeared on me. Um, great. Now I'm gonna have to do something else. But what I was saying to you was, you know, I apologize for saying something like that. Then I was just dealing with my own crap, right? Because I'm the oldest sister and I had all these responsibilities, and you know, you shouldn't give kids all these responsibilities, and they should be able to, you know, just I don't know, sit around and have fun all day. I don't know what I was thinking when I said it, right? because the fact is that now those girls are definitely going to lean on that kind of stuff right now. They're going to lean on being able to cook food from scratch. They're living in a two-bedroom with their dad and their grandmother. How is this even appropriate? Why? I'm so mad. They don't even have suitable housing for the kids, right? And those girls are going to be able to wrangle in the kids. Your ex husband hasn't seen the kids in forever. He doesn't know. He wasn't taking care of them when y'all were together. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking care of them when you guys were together. He's never had the true and whole responsibility of taking care of these children.
No.
So this is definitely going to these girls are really going to have to use all of those skills that you
And
gave to taught to them over these last couple of years. They're going to
yeah,
need them.
and it's crazy because it's like we were trying to like because I had the baby, like, well, I had, so yeah, like you said, that was necessary for that time, and then over time I was able to get housekeepers. I didn't have housekeepers before that. I was able to get housekeepers, so we had two with our big family, and we started living a soft life. So it's like they weren't cooking or cleaning no more, just their spaces. I taught them, that's your space. Then you can ask the dada, which they call the house, whoever's listening, housekeeper, dada's there. You ask, then you can ask maybe once a week or as you feel necessary. Hey, can you maybe organize my closet? Can you come and do like a deeper clean? We're sweeping under, like sweep my floor, mop it or whatever. And, the guy comes every week to dust. So, okay, but keep your own space clean. So before we left, they're not used to doing all that hard work for like at least almost a year. So now it's
Okay.
like you think about to come back to America and then be like, because my plan was also to be like, I told the daughters, get you a passport and let's figure out how you can get a visa, and come on, you can teach Nyota how to speak Swahili. Like even me, I got used to it. Like this is what I need so I can work now, and homeschool the boys, and then I have all of them to do deep cleaning and cooking. I was able to teach them vegan meals. Like it was really nice. So now it sounds even more crazy. And you arrive, you're under arrest, and then so it was nice. It was just like you said, the difficulties living in Tanzania. It was just like, hey, it was not for me to just live in the way that I was live. Well, I don't know, like I said, with the children to raise them there for a long time because of how I learned the culture kind of is when it comes to women. And I have two girls and myself, and it's like I don't think they have any respect for women. Like the culture there's like at least from my experience, and there's only so much I could take where like I have I like I need respect, and I don't like.
We all deserve that.
Right. I don't
Um,
like it.
in a previous live stream, you with uh, Taste of Vegan, you briefly mentioned one of your children suffering some trauma at the hands of your ex-husband. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So, um, you're talking about when he molested my daughter.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. So, yeah, in 2021, 2021, um, my daughter told me what happened. It's in that video there. But she didn't say all those details. That was the first time when you see both of us sitting there. That was the first time I heard all those details. She just told
Hold
me.
on, hold on. What video? I didn't see any video.
Oh, on my YouTube channel, I can put in the chat, but in the YouTube channel, I made the video, and he starts off screaming at the beginning. That video, it's a GoFundMe video that's up now
Okay.
that has all of it together. So that GoFundMe video, it says, he starts saying, "Oh, I thought she was you. I thought she was you." So that me and him are talking about it, and then after that, she's speaking with a police officer, and she's saying what happened. And that was the first time I even heard the details. I just believed her when she told me. Why would my daughter come to me and tell me something like that? So, but I was in
Wow.
shock.
And the thing is I don't know you like that, but you don't look like your daughter that your husband would
Yeah,
mistake
of
your
course.
daughter.
That's why I don't believe that, but I don't believe that either. Like, of course, I don't believe that, but just being with somebody that long and they have so much control of your mind for that long and to be able to talk. When around the time when I started learning that I need to put up boundaries with him, that is when I start my eyes get more like opened and not what's it called? Like when I was talking about the doubt, like that you stop doubting that voice in you and the red flags that you keep ignoring about stuff. Since as long as I can remember that, I'm like, something's off, like different things, you know? So it just takes like as we know when like going through different things or therapies and stuff like that and that online and learning about how this stuff works.
I'm
And
glad that your daughter you were able to put all those pieces and videos together. I'll go back and see what that is all about. I mean, if you want to, you can share it here. Um, but I would like because now he doesn't want her to talk, right? Now you already have like a video confession of what was going on and his state of mind and all that kind of stuff. So, um, I hope that any judge will see through what's going on here.
yeah, this was it's crazy when I think about it. That what I happened when I was on my way, even before leaving, the Most High had all like I felt in my spirit that it was you got to deal with your fears. You got to deal with yeah, that was the big thing, fears. And like is it and so that's what I just kept going on this little these every month. It was just another trial of like this is a fear you have. You got to face. Because my prayer for the new year was it was simple and broad to heal and feel free. And when I say feel free, I just really mean like I don't want to walk on eggshells anymore. And that's why I couldn't be in Tanzania either. It's like I just want to be myself and like not feel like people are trying and plotting against me or trying to extort me for money or trying to like the ex-husband like oh, I can't even post some other stuff because then it's like are we gonna know where like what he's gonna do to try and get like all these threats always threatening always being threat for just trying to make a live like well really trying to protect my children and make a like a good like living for them since 2020. It's like that's what it's like it's constantly on my back trying to stop me from getting on my feet independently. Like this has been a struggle that I'm just tired of. It's like it's whack. Like it's really whack. So and at the same time though, doing something that where like where I felt called since 2011 is like teach it the way you eat, the way you teach the children the word. Like you're not gonna go to a school all day and learn these like these different wisdoms that the scriptures teach us, right? Starting with the scriptures, and then to go even beyond the different things that we're learning now when it comes to like emotional intelligence, right? Where like usually we're like reacting and responding. Oh my gosh! Like now it's like I know how to really take things in and not take it personal and like emotional intelligence, like the wisdom and certain way, like different ways and how to communicate, how to people different. Like these are generational curses that we're breaking too and trying to get on our feet. So then where's the village that our family might have had back then and without a village? So the only thing you could do if you want to make it easier is say, hey, I'm putting all of them in school. I'm getting on all the social services. Not saying any of this stuff is wrong. I'm just saying like if it's only about like the money part, which we see, like say the Proverbs 31 woman, it seemed like she don't need no man. She just got a good one because she had real estate and she had agriculture. So until we get back to those two things, we have to go through this. We for the next generation, we have to be on this like journey of just breaking these curses that and it hurts and I guess we're gonna do it like jump for y'all to jump on my back. I gotta lay the groundwork so then my girls can not have to be be the way I was and be the way grandma was and everybody. Let's go back to maybe I don't know how many generations where they did have the agriculture and the real estate where she can make money while she sleeps because like say for instance all these like having being pregnant I'll be out for 2 months like throwing up so but where's the money coming from? If it was real estate, I could be making, so if I was selling
And
crops, it's
I,
gonna keep going. So you get my point. So this is the
mm,
so trying to do all that and then being chased too, like it's not hard. Um, so yeah, I
I couldn't imagine. I'm the oldest of six children, right?
wow,
So,
six.
um,
I forgot about that.
yeah, well, six on my mom. My dad's got three other ones. I'm the oldest of everybody. It's like
Oh
eight of
my
them.
god.
So, I get, having a big family. I get that. And that's why I was like, I'm only having two. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to do that. But
You're like, I don't.
yeah, I was good. I
But
was
it's just
good. Big
fun.
family wasn't for me, but I do understand trying to break these generational curses and just having better for our children. Period. Whether they, boy, girl, we just things has to change. It has to change for our people change and creating those generational wealth and being able to live as free as we can, right? And so I definitely understand that. I do. So tell me, what is your current legal situation?
My current, okay. Um,
Mm,
you mean oh, like what's going
court
on? So
dates, yeah, court dates. What are
okay, so my gosh. So um they're holding my baby hostage until well, I say until the 25th. Um but the 24th I have a hearing, a bond hearing. Um so yeah, when I went to California, I got out on bond. They put an ankle monitor. I have an ankle monitor on. And let me show you guys if you can see. You got not gonna. Oh yeah. So
yeah,
they
that's beautiful. It's a nice new piece of jewelry, darling.
yeah.
Marvelous, darling.
So yeah, so they put that on me, and to make sure I go to my hearing on the 24th. And I mean, I'm gonna have a bond hearing in Rhode Island, from California, Rhode Island. So in Rhode Island, I have a bond hearing, and in California, I have a DCFS hearing. Yeah, the baby is in.
No. The bond hearing is you already had a bond hearing in California.
Yeah, and now I have to.
So is it possible that wow. So
Yeah,
you're gonna have you have charges in California and charges in New York. Is that what I'm understanding?
no, I'm in Rhode Island, but California, they do this. Like when the federal government puts out like a warrant or whatever, and they catch you or whatever. So that's what it was. They caught me, and then they go, okay. So they do their part to make sure I go to where the warrant came from. But I had a
Okay.
bond. So I mean, they let me out on bond in California, and then put the bracelet on. So then I make my appointment in Rhode Island, and then
So you
then Rhode
basically
Island.
have to do it twice, though. They're basically telling you that you've made. I, I,
Right, right. So
I
with
need to
my
hear from
legal team,
your lawyer, like are
yeah. So my
you're going
legal,
to you're going to Rhode Island for another bond hearing, to maybe having to post bond again to keep your freedom.
I guess to finish the one that they had, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like I might be the bond, right? That they put it on my ankle. So we'll see how that turns out. I trust and believe that everything's gonna go well, and then I go to my hearing for my newborn baby, and then yeah, we'll see. Then it's let's get the children, So all the children. So that is the plan. We'll see how it goes, and I believe the best possible outcome. I truly believe. I can't say, just like everything else. We can't always. I know the what I like to say is my baby's name is Nyota Rich L. So Nyota means star in Swahili, a light, and rich is abundance, right? And then L represents God. So I like to just think of it all the time that Nyota's purpose was to shine light on this darkness and expose all the darkness and all the people, and even bring the love where it needs to be placed. And it and because of all these crimes, she might get a little bit rich off of them, but rich in every area of her life as well as her families, and let God get all the glory at the end of it. We don't know how it all gonna come about, but I know I did nothing wrong. My children and God as my witness, I did nothing wrong when it comes to what happened with these or what these people are trying to do to hurt me, and they're causing a lot of pain and suffering, and cost that to me and all my children. They're traumatizing us, and they will pay for it. And let God get all the glory from it. So um, after they are held accountable, because like what if you decide you're gonna do something malicious like you've already done, um, what they're gonna have to answer to it. I mean, I'm online. I guess they picked the right one. I don't know. They picked the wrong or right one. I'm not sure, but I'm not like
It's
this
like
is
this. They picked the right one on the wrong day. That's what
yeah,
they
they
done
picked the
done.
right one on
We're
the
gonna
wrong day.
find out.
They gotta find out. I'm not. Yeah, we're because that's not. It's not right. And I'm am about justice. Like I don't know how long I've been in those Psalms, like, and it's all about justice. And if the God I serve is true, then everything is gonna come out the way. Because I'm before that other hearing that I had before, like when we were going through the divorce, and he was just lying and nothing. Like I was on the floor petitioning and praying every single day, listening to the Bible on repeat, or while we sleep all the time on the Psalms. So I petitioned. You think it would come out this way, but God's timing is not our timing. And so for it to explode, like it could have, like there's only so long the darkness can just like so-called think they prevail. It's like has to get to a point, and it's like, dang, you still can't repent after just even the empathy that you were given, so-called getting away with what you've done to my daughter, first of all, and my children, and then to me, to the point where an innocent baby who can't speak for herself from your crimes, you knew I was coming back with a newborn baby, and you're going to make her be separated from her mom every single day. It's scientifically proven that every single day an infant is separated from their mother, that they are in risk of SIDS, sudden infant death. You're that wicked. We all have to see that. And I'm the type of person where I don't tell people what to do or tell people not to like somebody. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't say don't do this with your dad, and I don't say anything. Let it just you be you, and I just what I mean, that was off. Shouldn't don't That's not your fault. Like that's how I am. So if you're this is you want your kids to see how, or even the people to see how bad, like how terrible you could be to someone who's done nothing but pray for, will take care of your children and even pray for you to have yeah, that's
Did the
crazy.
federal when did the federal government find out that you had 6 children and not 5? Did they know all along?
No, they found out from, it says it all in the reports on that YouTube video. I just all I do is screenshot the reports of what the federal agent is saying.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that
Right.
yet.
Well, she said, well, basically, yeah, it said that she was they got note that she's in Qatar, um, and that she's with the 5 children. She's coming with a Tanzanian newborn infant, like all of that. So, and what he said that he knew I was in the report. Also, it says that he knew that she was pregnant. Like I said in the interview in 2024, that she was expecting a baby, and that he has reason to believe
None
that
of that was red flags for them.
they were enrolled
None
in
of that was
school and that they were malnourished. So that's it.
That
And
that was not red flags for those FBI agents. It was not enough for them to try to ask your ex-husband what is her mom's phone number so we can contact her
you know
so
what my
that we
cousin
can
did?
find arrangements for the baby. Or why couldn't your husband have called your mom and
Well,
said something?
right. He should, but what he said was this, that it says in the report that he said when I don't know if they told him that DCFS was coming or what, but it says in the report that he said, can he help bring the baby to my mom's? That's what it says that he asked. And it also says that he said that it was an accident that he actually touched my daughter. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. That doesn't make me or the baby at risk. I mean, me at risk of giving the baby physical harm, because that's what DCFS is trying to say. So we just sent in a bunch of rebuttals to all of that shit because it's bull. It's not even, sorry for my language, but it's
I,
like the
I I I've never even seen you pop your children. And they can get rowdy and boisterous and playful and loud and all that, jumping on furniture, doing stuff kids do, and I just have not. I haven't, so I don't see how that doesn't fly. And you lived at my house, so like I think I would have seen some pops. I seen some corners. Go stand in the corners. I done seen that,
Yeah, but
but
either way, either way. Shoot, even in the state of Rhode Island, it's not. They don't even. And they said that the report says this in DCFS. They said the children didn't. I mean that the baby. Let's just focus on the baby. They said the baby did not look like she suffered from any harm in her care. From the DCFS report, no harm in her care, no signs of malnourishment on any of the children, and no physical harm or anything like the children were fine. And so it's like, but no, they have plans. They have plans. They thought they was messing with just some. They just thought they could do something that they can't. That's all. And so
they
they're
thought
mad.
because your kids wasn't in school that y'all was all ignorant, huh?
Yeah, they just thought that or I don't know what they thought, but it's not gonna happen. Everything's gonna be okay. It's all about money. They think it's all about money. Me taking me the FBI because I said who's my accuser. I went there and I asked who's my accuser. They're like the United States. I'm like, okay, the United States is my accuser. Like, can I come? Okay, I didn't say that, but I'm just in my mind. I'm like, all right. So we'll see, and I guess you'll hear the outcome. But
Yeah,
everything will be okay eventually.
it is. It's going to be okay. And um, so I got um, and last we talked about the challenges of your legal situation. You're flying back and forth. Um, so how can people help support your legal battles, and what message do you have for those who are willing to assist you?
Oh, hold on. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to share the GoFundMe with you guys. Sorry. So yeah, I just on the chat I'll put in the GoFundMe, and I guess you
Okay.
can. And then what was the other question?
And how can people help support your legal battles? And what message do you have for those who are willing to assist?
Willing to what? Or listening to this? Um,
Willing to assist. We'll listen to it later. Um, yeah.
what message? I mean, just eliminate all limited beliefs, and just trust and believe. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Just trust and believe that infinite abundance is our birthright, and um, just call in your highest and best good, and just don't be um, as you do that, don't be hooked on of how it's going to come, because you can have trials in the midst of it all, but in the midst of it, just know that the Most High is in control. It's always something that usually we're learning, a cycle that we're in. So to get to the next level, to just focus on, wait, why am I in? What are you teaching me right now? It's not a blame game, but just what are you teaching me right now? And just try in the midst of it, even though it's hard and it hurts or whatever, just try to continue to operate in love and love and love and positivity. Just to keep it, just be positive. And anything that's not positive, kind of just eliminate from your space. Um, don't let it around like that. Make it easier for you. Just because that's how what I've been doing. So, and so that's what I'm learning.
Well,
So,
we've been on this live for longer than I expected we would. So I want to thank you for coming on and telling your story. Um, and for everyone that's watching, do your due diligence. Go to her GoFundMe. She sent the link in there. There's a link in the description for her Cash App or PayPal. If it's $1, if it's 10 cents, whatever you got, send it. Help her out. It all counts.
Thank you.
Um, and again, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I know that it's not easy for you, and I see the brave face that you're putting on. I see it, and I also know that in the background, you're struggling. Your kids are not with you. They've been taken away. The federal government has done that to you. They have caused you um, grief. They have caused you pain and suffering and anguish. And I hope and pray that the team that you've gathered together throws the book at them for everything that they've done to disenfranchise you and your family. So
Thank
uh, I'll be keeping in contact with you. So just because the one mom to another, for getting to know you while you were here in Tanzania. And then lastly, when it's time for updates, I'll post those, and I hope to be able to have you back here someday so we can talk about the things that we can't talk about because
you. Sure.
there's legal ramifications still hanging in the air.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your love and the prayers, especially before we got on. I appreciate that. And thank everybody else who watches this. And thank you for your love and support, guys.
Well, shalom.
Peace. Love you.
Bye bye. Love you too.
Bye.
All right, family. That is all. I hope that 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 instead of just taking in this story or thinking of it as some piece of juicy gossip, that you take in consideration Jess and her 6 children and what they're going through at this time, and how hard it would be for you if you were in the same situation as her and her family at this time. Um, and I hope that, uh, if nothing else, pray for her. And I'm not talking about, oh, pray for her, pray for her. You know that prayer that you get down on your knees and you snotting and crying. Pray for her. Pray for her. Pray for her like it was your children that you're praying for that have been taken from you. Right? So shalom, family. I wish all of you all love and support, and I pray that none of us ever have to go through like nothing like this in our lifetime. Shalom, family.